Hello ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, this is Rob from Connecticut. In this video I'm showing how I made our preheater. You see that in the still photo here. Above that I've got a 5-gallon bucket. We feed the cold sap into the bucket, it goes down into the preheater and then into the pan. And what we try and do is match the amount of evaporation to the amount of sap going into the pan, so we always maintain a nice steady boil. So I started out with 6-inch stovepipe, typical stuff you'd use on a wood stove. On top of that, I've wrapped some galvanized piping. It's the stuff they use for furnace exhaust. And at the top and the bottom, I cut some slits into it so I can bend them and use them as supports for both the copper tubing and the ceramic blanket insulation that's going to go on in the next scene. This copper tubing was actually a wort chiller. People that homebrew use them. It had already been in a coil shape, but it was much wider. So what I did is I took this copper tubing, I filled it with fine sand, I crimped the ends so it wouldn't leak out, and as I was bending it and wrapping it around the 6-inch pipe, I was able to not kink it. If you use empty copper tubing, a lot of times you'll kink it and then you have trouble having your sap flow through it. So it came out just like I wanted it, and you see that in the video here. I took some ceramic blanket insulation. I bought a roll of this at a local company here in Connecticut. I think it was almost $100 for a roll, and there's a ton of it. So that's a great insulator. I used some copper wire that I stripped, used the copper itself just to hold it onto the stovepipe. Nothing fancy, a couple of twists, and I'm done. So in this picture, you see the final product. That exterior around the preheater itself is stovepipe. I just stretched it out or opened it up as much as I could, then connected it where I could of that metal tape. You can get that metal tape in Harbor Freight or an HVAC store. The top and bottom I secured it with the HVAC tape as well. Boiling now for almost 35 minutes. $203 degrees on the firebox. $9:30. 8:06. Preheater's coming out at about 1:45. Right after 3 seasons. I think it's 3 seasons, maybe it's 4 sugaring seasons. Here's what the preheater looks like. Still in great shape. Obviously the stack has got some rust. It's been definitely been running hot. The only thing I'm going to do this year, I'm going to take it downstairs. I'm going to pull this metal tape off. I'm going to reseal that and reseal it down here, and then we're good to go. The ceramic insulation on the interior is still in great shape. And basically, it's just like it was when I first built it, except it looks a little worse for wear. So this will give us many more seasons of use. And again, it's a really simple preheater. What I do with this now, obviously I keep it separate. When I break down the unit at the end of the year, I just leave this out here in the barn. This will go on the stack once I put the 90 in here. So I'll have the 90-degree. I'll drop this on it, and then I've got about 6 or 8 more feet of stovepipe I put up top. And I keep my stovepipe in this plastic container right here. I found that in front of some factory, and they were throwing it out. So now I stick my stovepipe in there, I seal it up, and it stays like that for the season when it's not in use.